You know, sometimes, no, often, I wonder about my sanity and my choice of hobbies. So, well, got a Chevy 350 throttle body fuel injection. I installed the wiring harness from a junkyard. It runs mostly good. That wiring harness runs in parallel with the original wiring harness in this Jeep, which ran the headlights, and I tapped into that for the fuel pump and tail lights and all that stuff, brake lights. It's not working out so well for us, guys. I mean, my headlights died the other night, last night. Started looking at it, can't quite figure out why. We'll get to there, we'll figure it out eventually. I start looking at the condition of this wiring, and we have all sorts of incredible fun. A broken wire that was on this, I think that would be my voltage regulator. This might be a one-wire alternator that I don't need a voltage and I'm checking out its wiring, and it's a little janky. And what in the world is this? I've got 3 terminated wires rolled up together. I don't know what that is. That's a wire terminal. It's just taped off. I looked at what was going through the firewall through a grommet, and well, that's not good. So this was brake lights. Yeah, this was part of my brake light assembly. See, where's my brake lights? Plenty of house wire nuts in there. I mean, well, it's all right. It's not that big of a deal, right? It looks like a mess. This looks like a mess. If I come into the cab, oh, roofed up. That is a mess. See, so that's the GM fuse box. This is the fuse box I was running. It used to be cleaner when I had the old steering column in here. Here's my old turn signal. I've got this turn signal. I've got my headlight switch over here. Not working right now. I got a GM headlight switch, you know, to the GM harness, just sitting there. I suppose what I'm saying, mechanical issues notwithstanding, let's clean up some electrical issues. That's what we're going to work on next, and we're going to get there. I'm in the garage. I've got enough work lights. That's what we're going to do. We'll just take this one step at a time. Kind of pull stuff back, build it back out. It'll be great. Yeah, so let's start from here. Yeah, we got a black wire with an unconnected or a bare terminal and a wired off or taped off terminal. Not connected to, well, to anything. Yeah. Yep. I've been working on this thing for a long time. I wonder what that was for. That's all right. Was it yesterday? Yesterday, after work, I went by the Jalopy Jungle, our local pick-apart place, and I ripped out this wiring harness, which hopefully will plug into that right there. It looks right, correct, and proper. Pulled this out of a 1992 Suburban. And so here's what it's going to have for us, right? So we've got these 2 plugs coming right out of the firewall, and they're all fused. They go to the fuse box. And if you follow this along, we have right there, that plug right there is for the fuel pump. That's great. I can now plug that in correctly. And now this thing splits into 2. This section, which is needs a little bit of a repair on wire loom, but this is your rear section, right? So your tail lights, your turn signals, and back to your fuel pump. So great, that's fantastic. This other side, well, you can see right there, that's an indicator, well, indicator lamp. This part is for the headlights. So this should be what I need to run headlights, turn signals, horns. I picked up a couple of horns while I was there, and hopefully this will give me a quick, easy solution. Now here's the deal. This came out of a 92 Suburban. Suburban is a lot bigger than a Willy's Wagon, right? It is feet wider when it comes to the headlight positions. Yeah, probably a couple feet wider. It is much longer. So we're going to have to do some adjustments to the wiring. We have to decide how we're going to terminate to our headlights. GM is a 4 headlight system. You have high beams and low beams with the, what do you call it? It's not the cat eye, but it's got the high beams and the low beams side by side. This is high beams and low beams in a single halogen bulb. And so I've got to decide how I'm going to approach that. So it's not going to be a direct plug and play, but this is good wiring. You had your choice there at the junkyard, and I went through and I looked. And so for 40 bucks all told, I got the wiring harness, 2 horns, and a relay for 40 bucks. That's money well spent. Boy, this wiring is, well, it's tight in here, I tell you what. Vehicles that weren't meant to have power brake boosters and a V8 engine, you know, manual brakes and a inline 6 fit a lot better. Good grief. Okay, hold on, make sure I get these in the right, correct and proper orientation. All right, new wiring harness all plugged together. If I got the right one, it'll all go right into here. Guys, I hope you can forgive my lack of continuity here. I had to jump in. I was editing this video and realized that I left out the best parts, right, of the progress that we made on the wiring harness. So here's the deal. I need a new utterance. Here is the wiring harness as it's installed. Let's see if I can get some light down in there. Okay, so we're bolted in right there to the firewall. We're making the connection just like the Chevy factory did. We have our fuel pump is now clipped in, and it runs off of the factory wiring harness all the way back to the fuel pump. We have a few extra plugs. I'm trying to remember what that one is for. I don't even really care. Here or there, that's not a big deal. We do have, most everything's in really good shape. This is my headlight and turn signal harness here. Now we were talking about this. This was a GM harness with the 4 headlights. We're coming down to 2. I just took out the extra headlights and turn lamp indicators, all that. I cut half the wiring out of here, trimmed it back, resoldered all the joints at the connection. So that's all underneath this wire loom right in there is the soldered joints that are heat shrunk. Here we have heat shrink over spade terminal connectors. These go to the turn signals, and we also have heat shrink over the spade terminal, high quality spade terminal connectors for the headlights. I did that so I could replace those headlight plugs if I wanted to, rather than just a direct solder. I'm highly confident that those are going to last for a very long time. I don't think I'll have any trouble with it. I am happy with every wiring connection in the hood except for one, and that's this one. You'll see what I'm talking about right here. Yoinks. That right there where I just have a wire jammed into that plug right there. That goes to my windshield wiper motor. Here's the cool part. Okay, I don't like that connection, but that gives me my full windshield wiper, well, give me some windshield wiper control off of my steering column. Let's look inside the cab here. All right, it's not perfect. It's wiring. It's a little bit of there's a little bit of messes here and there, but overall, we're far better off than we were before. This is still hanging down. I will go ahead and hard mount this somewhere probably right about there or so, or somewhere in that fashion, so I can at least see the fuses and get to them. So I got my fuse pant box here. I've got my brake switch here that brakes. I've got a sweet, okay, that's not sweet at all, but what that does do is that puts my headlight switch in a position that I can get to it. being secured for right now. We'll build us a plate to go back in there to mount that switch. Here we go, back in there to mount that switch and any other switches that we want. We'll go ahead and we'll build the plate to go into that opening for the headlight switch and anything else that we want to put up in there. Probably put a couple of gauges in there because I don't have a fuel level figured out quite yet. Most everything else is pretty much there. So we're going to jump back to the rest of this video where we're testing it out and checking it out. But honestly, guys, it's way better than it's been. It's probably better than it was off the factory showroom floor. Okay, it's not. But it's way better than it's been ever since I've owned it. And that's always a success. Yeah. All right, let me go back to editing videos now. So what I'm going to say is this is a win. The wiring, it's 99% done. Almost completely functional. Okay, check this out, right? Almost totally functional. Here we go. Keys on. We'll go headlight. We'll go running lights first. So I've got running light, almost a running light. That one's giving me trouble. Running light. Okay, yeah, they're trailer lights. I get that. They're not the right, correct, and proper. Look at that. I've got a tail light. That is so cool. I've got turn signals, y'all. Look at this. I mean, it's like turn signaling. Left turn signal. Left turn signal. It's like, yes. Right turn signal. Okay, right turn signal is not quite as important because you're just kind of diving off the road. But on my back end, I've got a right turn signal. On the front end, I don't have a right turn signal yet. It's this socket here. The bulb is fine, but the socket, I can generally, excuse me. Yeah, I can't see. The socket's messed up. I've got to do so. Either probably replace that socket, and that might be hard to find. I might have to figure out something else. That's okay. Check this out. We got headlights though. Headlights. Wait, let me get my turns nice. Ah, look at that. Okay. Headlights. High beam. Low beam. Oh yeah. Come check out the back end. We got brake lights. Huh? How do you like them apples? Tail lights, headlights, brake lights, running lights. We even, you can't hardly see it, have one light functioning in the speedometer. One in a row. That's incredible. So we don't have the dome lights yet. It's there, it's just not wired to anything. We'll wire that up. We don't have the wiring all cleaned up yet, but it's well, significantly cleaner. It's kind of up and out of the way. I'll be working on that over the next few weeks, getting that bundled up into its permanent home. Overall, lots of little wins. I'm going to take every one of them that I can. So I'm going to close this video out. Maybe I'll come back a little bit later in the week with the rest of the work that I get done. But I'm just going to be crawling around using some zip ties and wire ties and whatnot to bundle stuff up. You know, stuff like this brake line, which is brand new and just kind of getting ready to rub on the frame or rub on the steering box to rub a hole in the brake line while I'm driving on the highway, and I really only have front brakes. So okay, so it's not a clean win, right? It's the kind of a win where you have to get a lucky fat guy interception touchdown to put the game away. But a win's a win, and I'll take every single win I can get. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you all on the next video. Go out and work on your projects and celebrate the little win. It's important. Be good to yourselves. Catch you on the next one.